Let us discuss the law of return to scale. In the law of variable proportions, we talked about short run production functions, but in law of return to scale, we are going to talk about long run production functions. So in long run production functions, the only factor is variable factor. So the factors of production can be changed. Like I can shift my land. I have ample time for all my production, for the collection of resources and stuff. Let us go with the statement of the law. If given a certain combination of factors of production, obviously we are given some factors of production which we will use to produce a given output. And now let us suppose I have to increase my production. So what do I do is I increase the factors of production in same proportion. Now what does same proportion mean? For example, if for production I have the factors of land and labor and capital, then I double them both at the same proportion, and then I can increase them to 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and so on. I mean, they are going to increase in same proportion. Yeah, so if they are increased in the same proportion, then there are three possibilities that arise. The first one being, if output increases in same proportion. Now obviously if I'm increasing the factors of production, I would be doing that to increase my output, right? So if output increases in the same proportion, then the return to scale is constant. If output increase is more than proportionate, then it is increasing return, and if output increase is less than proportionate, then it is termed as decreasing return. Let us look at this table, which will help us getting a better overview of what I have just talked about. For example, let us suppose that the land and capital are 1 and 1 each. The total product obtained in such a case is 100, and the average product is also 100. Now, if they are doubled, that is the land and the capital, that is the factors of production are doubled, I've come to it has come to my notice that the total product comes out to be 250 while the average is 125. Now here, when we talk about the law of increasing returns, we increasing return or constant return or decreasing return, we are normally gonna look at the things with the help of average product, because that makes us study easier. Because total product is somehow going to increase. Now you have to calculate the proportions, and the increase in proportion, that would be kind of hectic in calculating, so we calculate the average product. Now if when it is increased 3 times, you can see that the average product has risen to 150 and 190 when it is increased to 4 times. So as far you can see, when till 4 times, if we have increased our factors of production till 4 times, we can see that it is an increasing return. Now as soon as I increased my land and capital labor and capital to 5, it has come to 190, and it is still 190. Now when it is 6 times, it again remains 190. This is constant return, and it was increasing return till 4 till the time it was quadrupled. Now, from 6 to 8, you can see that it is 190, 180, and 160. The figure says it all, that it is a decreasing return. Let us take an example. For example, if I have one unit of capital and 1 unit of labor producing 5 units of output, then how much will 2 units of capital and 2 units of labor produce? It might be 10, it might be greater than 10, or it might be less than 10. That's what I've been talking about in increasing return, constant return, decreasing return. These are the 3 phases of law of return to scale. Now note that it won't be less than 5 units, obviously, because if I'm increasing my factors of production, I will do that to increase my output only. So we can conclude here that there is no negative return in case of law of return to scale, as it was in case of law of variable proportions. Now let us look at the increasing return to scale. If all the factors of production increased in a particular proportion, then production increase is more than proportionate. That's obvious. The reasons for this can be specialization and division of labor and individualization of factors. Now when we look at the diagram, the plot of the increasing return to scale, for example, if for 1 unit and 1 unit of labor and 1 unit of capital, I'm sorry, I have labor here and capital here. Yeah, so when 1 unit of labor and 1 unit of capital, for example, at first produce 100 units of product. Now I've made it 100, 200, and 400 in order to make the comparison between all the 3 cases. So when it was when both of them were doubled, it was actually 250 according to the graph, according to the table. But in the graph, since I have to make the comparison, I've made 200. So obviously now if 2 units of labor, 2 units of capital are producing 250, so for 200 it would be less. So that's why the isometric graphs are closer to each other in case of increasing return to scale. And this line, this straight line, is a production line. Now similarly, in case of constant return, the production increase is equal to the proportionate. That's obvious. And the reasons are absence of advantage and disadvantage from increase in scale and interregnum period. And the plot for this can also be seen. Like you can see that the isometric points, isometric graphs are constant and are at a constant distance from each other. Okay. And here's the decreasing return. The production increase is less than the proportionate. The reasons, the possible reasons can be problems in complexity of management and exhaustibility of resources. And this is the respective plot. Thank you.